Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope everybody is doing good. I just wanted to jump on real quick. I know we had talked before, and I never got to that video about like childcare and the best home situation to be in when you are raising or are a child actor. Um, so, first things first, it's definitely one, not easy, two, not cheap, and three, not flexible. You have to be flexible. So, in my opinion, the best way to get this done is if you are in a relationship and one of the people in the relationship is not working or has a very flexible job, maybe a remote job, something like that. That way, one person can go to work to make sure all the bills are paid, food's on the table, etc. And the other person can be responsible for running the kids back and forth to auditions and jobs. Because as we know, it doesn't wait. Like, I can get a call today for an audition tomorrow, or a call today for a job tomorrow. So you can't really have the notice that you need to be like, hey, I want to take off work 3 weeks from now for, days. Sometimes that happens, where you get this notice of, hey, I need to take off work for a day my son's working, or a day my daughter's working, or an audition or something like that. But that's not the norm. That's not common. So the best situation is one person not having to work or working very remotely. That way they don't have that burden or that stress of, am I putting too much into this acting career? Because it takes a lot. You have to give it a lot. That's the only way this will work. Okay, you get in what you put out. And again, also, there's that element of chance. It's not just if you work hard, you're really great, it's going to work out for you and you're going to go far. Unfortunately, this is one of those situations where, yes, talent matters, but it's not the only thing. There is an element of chance to this. So that's definitely the best situation. Me personally, it's harder in my situation because it's just me and I have 2 kids in the industry. So especially like say you get like a call for this one they booked a job, awesome. And now shortly later you got a call for this one for an audition. So it's like I can't be in 2 places at once. So if you don't have that ideal situation of someone working and someone not, it's best to have a strong support system like family. Now, a support system can be anything. Mine's is family, but everybody's is not family. Some people have a close knit friends, group or something like that. Also, what I have noticed that people are doing lately, well, I've heard about online and things like that, is there's like groups of parents or moms or whatever that are kind of getting together. And it's like, you take my kid this day, I'll take your kid next time. I'm working today. You run the kids to auditions today. Both our kids got this audition. Okay, you take both kids today. Things like that, and just taking turns. And I know that in some states that can't happen. A guardian has to be there. So that just depends on your state. So, but I know that in some states that they are doing that. So if that would help you. Me personally, I definitely don't think if I didn't have the support system that I have, that I would be able to get through it, because there's definitely been days that I'm like, can't go to work today, got to do this, can't do whatever I had planned today because now I got a last minute job for him or her or whatever the case may be. So it definitely takes a support system. And when you have more than one kid, it's like one kid's got a job, that means I need a babysitter. So that also comes in handy, having that support system. Like, okay, I got to take this one to a job or this one to an audition. Can you babysit? Or vice versa. Or now I have 2 kids that have a job this day. Can you take one and I take one? Because clearly you can't be in 2 places at once. So definitely a support system. What else? A lot of people call it a rich man's game. And I believe in that because it's much easier for you to succeed in this business if you don't have to worry about the stress of how you're going to make a living. Because, like I said, everything's last minute. It's like, I need to miss work in order to go to this audition, or I need to miss work in order for him to work. You know what I mean? So, you definitely need to have that support system, and it's best if you do, like I said, have that situation where you don't have to worry about the stress of how you're going to make ends meet. That support system or that significant other or whatever the case may be, in that sense. That also comes down to like what it takes to make it in this business, or to thrive in this business, or to even be in this business. And it's a little like scary, I guess. You read articles all the time about how, Taraji P. Henson and all these different people, Tyler Perry, were like homeless. You know what I mean? They're like, homeless, living in their car, living on somebody's couch, nothing, no job, no home, no nothing, And they're like, and I did all that and I sacrificed all that just to make it. So when we were really like first starting out, and I wasn't that, I was like, okay, my son is 3 at the time. I didn't have a daughter. I'm like, you're 3. You don't know what you want yet. Like, I'll do this with you and that's fun and everything. And, we'll do what we can, but I'm not going to do all that. You're 3. Your mind can change tomorrow. As he got a little older and got more serious in it and was pretty much begging me to continue and to do more, that's when things changed. So even though we had this turning point and now I'm really ready to put more into making my child's dream come true, he's a little older now, there still comes a point where you're like, how much am I going to give? I'm a mom. If it was me in the situation, would I be willing to be homeless, live in someone's couch, or live in my car, things like that? Would I be willing to do that for my dream, sacrifice that for my dream? But when you're the mom in the situation and it's your child that wants the dream, you can't live in your car. You can't be homeless and just take off and things like that, because then you got the government like, where's your address? Where's your kid living? What's going on with this child? I guess everyone is different and knows what their limitations are and what they're willing to sacrifice. But in my opinion, and for me personally, I was not willing to go that far. I don't want to be homeless. I have kids, and their lifestyle and their values and their morals and just joy of being a kid, like those things are important to me. So I'm personally not willing to be homeless living in our car or something crazy like that. You know what I mean? So it's not, and I know it's my kid's dream and things like that, but I don't want to do that. I won't do that. So that support system is very, 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 very important to me. Okay. And I don't think anyone should do that. Definitely don't do that. It's just going to put your kids in a bad situation. So you got to have that support system, and you got to know where you're willing to stretch and where you're willing to not, and if this is really for you, because it's hard. And I know myself, like when I used to try to weigh the options, even after I was all in, I'm like, are we gonna do this? Is it even possible? Because I'm reading about so many people that had to give up so much just for this, and I'm not willing to give that up. So is it possible without giving that up? So that took a lot, and it is possible. We just got to find those ways to work around it. And the support system is the best way I've come up with so far, because I can't live in a car with my kids or live on somebody's couch with my kids and things like that. So having that support system is key. Not having to worry about, the money to take care of your kids and things like that is key. Like I said, it's a rich man's game. I tell people who ask me all the time, like, hey, I see what you're doing with your kids and what your kids are doing, and I'm interested in getting my kids or somebody's kids into it and things like that. What do I got to do? And I'm happy to help pretty much anybody. The first thing I say to people is it's hard, flat out, because I don't want anyone to think, oh, this is fun and all peachy keen, get to be on TV. It's hard. It's hard, especially in the case of the adult or parent or guardian. The kids, they love it, My kids started really young, so it's like, this is playtime. This is, make-believe time for them. But for me, it's like, I got to make sure everything's planned out. I got to make sure I have childcare. I have to make sure money is good. Like, we live an hour and a half outside of our market area, so getting there is costly there and back regularly. Sometimes we could be there 5 times a week, so I got to get there 5 times a week. You know what I mean? Sometimes we're there once, sometimes we're not there at all. So it always changes. So that money has got to be there. You have to, that's why I say not having the stress of money being an issue, or if you have like a side hustle, or you are like remote or something like that, where you could be making money, or you have some sort of residual income, like that is the goal for this, because it's costly, you know what I mean? And especially when you first start out. So people who, again, are asking me how to get into the industry, things like that, you're not just going to audition and bam, now you're in this big blockbuster, movie or something like that. No, that doesn't happen. Like, you got to do small jobs. And even if you want to do acting, some industries start you out in print. So now you got to do print, which doesn't pay the best all the time. And you got to do that for however so long. You may not have had classes. You probably have zero on your resume. So all that is going to cost money. You got to get classes. You got to go get photos at some point. You have to build a resume, which is going to require travel, possibly childcare, depending on your situation or whatever the case may be. So having that support system is great. All comes back to that support system in the end, because what can you do without it? You can't do anything. You can't even get to the audition if you don't have a support system of funds. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have all the funds, unless you're like you're like doing well and money's not an option, then of course. But if you're in a situation where it's like, I got to be in New York, I know, or I got to be in LA, I know, or Atlanta, wherever you are, 5 times this week, can you afford to pay to get there for you and your child 5 times back and forth? And that's another thing with kids. It's 2 people at least, you know what I mean? Like, the child can never go alone. So you're always paying a fare, however you're getting there, for you and the child. You know what I mean? Another option is carpooling. I know a lot of people do that. So like, maybe it's even 2 different auditions, but it's like, we're going to be in the city. My audition's at 10, his audition's at 11. We'll ride in together. We'll wait for one another, do stuff in the city until the other's done, and then leave together and take turns doing that. That's another option. But the support system, it always comes back to the support system in the end, because when it comes to travel, when it comes to childcare, when it comes to funds, when it comes to the sacrifices you have to make, it all comes back to your support system. You know what I mean? And you are the first support system for your child. So it has to be you determining what sacrifices are most important, what ones you just can't budge on. So it starts with you, and then you have to reach out and find the best rest of the group for the support system for your child and your situation. So those are some of the main things that come to mind when I think about some of the challenges and the importance of having a support system in this industry. Another major thing I'm going to say is, as much as you need a support system and everything, it only matters if your child is actually enjoying it. So I want to put that out there. That's another thing I tell everyone who asks me how to get into this and things like that up front. You don't want to even persuade your kid. If they come to you and this is what they want to do, or then maybe they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's got to be something that they want to do, because in the end, either they're going to stop doing it and they're just going to shut down and stop, or they're just going to be very, very unhappy. Okay. And like I said, this is hard. It is hard. And it's not only hard for the parent. It is hard for the parent, don't get me wrong. And it is fun for the child if they're enjoying it, if this is something they like or actually love. But even though they love it, that doesn't mean it's not challenging. So it takes a lot. It takes a lot, especially, like I said in the beginning, there's so many no's. And that's just a fact. There's no after no after no. Did you book the job? No. You got a second call back? No. No. And then eventually you get some yeses. Small yeses, big yeses, things like that. But there's definitely way more no's, especially in the beginning. So it's hard, okay? It's not easy to memorize lines. It's not easy to break into and become a character. Not act it out, but actually become it. When your child is 4 years old and they're asking them to audition for a part where this child has to break down and start crying, their mom has passed or something like that. That's not easy. They have to be able to pretty much become the person, that the character that they are portraying, in order to freely feel those emotions and get that to come out. So it's not easy, okay? So in terms of stuff like that, again, support system, because you may need acting lessons. You may need somebody to help you break into things like that. And that's another thing. So always network for sure. So networking, that way you can branch out. Now you have someone who does acting lessons, or someone who is a photographer, or someone who's been through this or that, and they can help you and guide you. So definitely the support system is, if not number one, it's very high on the list. Very high on the list, especially if you're just starting out. Okay? So let me guys know if there's anything else you want to know. I think I'm going to talk about I was going to talk about memorizing scripts and things like that. But if you have ideas, let me know and I'll switch it up for my next video. Please comment below any questions you have. Please follow me. Please smash the like button, as my son would say, and hit the little bell so you get notifications of all my new videos. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.